Hi there, I'm First Warren 5 Meteorologist Warren Sears. Happy Monday. What a beautiful day. I was just watching someone walk through the plaza with shorts and a t-shirt on. It's definitely feeling like spring, and this afternoon actually gets almost early summer-like. We're talking temperatures near 80 for some of us out there this afternoon, and also tomorrow as well. A couple of really nice warm days, but we have our next cold front, thunderstorm chances, and cool down all on the horizon. So a little bit of a weather roller coaster yet again out there this week. We will talk through the potential record heat at times, and we'll also talk through the chance for some stronger to severe thunderstorms that we're watching closely for tomorrow. Let's get to it. Here's your weather story. 3 weather talkers this week. Today is the day of potential record heat. We're already at like 73, so I think we'll probably get there. The record is 77. Tuesday, first warn is in place. Most of the day is actually dry. We have some evening thunderstorms, though, more, I would say, after probably 6 p.m., and some of those could be on the stronger to severe side. A couple of different caveats here, a couple of different situations that we're watching, and a couple of different parameters that need to pan out for those storms to get going. But if they can, the severe risk is on the table here. And then into the overnight and early part of Wednesday, we're going to watch for a bit of a flood risk. There's an opportunity here in select areas. This isn't going to be widespread flooding for everybody, but there's an opportunity that if thunderstorms can track over the same area, that will pose an issue for some low-lying flash flooding and in like more isolated spots. So definitely, again, something that is worth noting, and a first warn was put in place because that could be impactful into your early part of Wednesday. So let's first start with today. Let's just go in order here. Let's first start with today. Temperature-wise, we are at 72 here in Kansas City. This is at the airport. We have a south-southwest wind. It's persistent. It's not overly strong today, but definitely noticeable, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And again, lots of sunshine today. The sun angle is starting to get a little bit higher, so it definitely starts to get a little stronger this time of the year. The strength of the sun also, again, a little bit stronger as well. So keep that in mind from a sunscreen standpoint. You might need to start thinking about that here into the next few days. So 72 right now. I'm expecting by this afternoon, we should make a jump right at about 77. That would be 5 more degrees for Kansas City in about 3 hours. So I think that's very achievable. And honestly, we might even be able to break that. If we're able to break 77, 78 or higher, we are going to break our daily high record temperature for March 9th. So that would be set back in 2021, 5 years ago. That was the current record, and we'll at least tie it, I think, today, but potentially breaking it as long as we can get to 78 or greater. So really warm afternoon and a really warm evening. Look at this. Find some time to get outside, a little extra lap around the neighborhood. The dogs will be happy about this. Maybe even find a patio. I know a lot of patios are starting to open up again. Go have dinner outside. Spend some time outside as much as you can, because we do have some switch-ups to the forecast over the next few days, and eventually temperatures are going to fall again into the middle part of this upcoming week. High temperatures today being in those mid to upper 70s, I mean soaring above normal for this time of the year. 20 to 25 degrees above where we should be for March standards, or early March standards at that. So going normal high temperature is low 50s, 53 degrees or so, and again, soaring over that. So that's a look at today. Now let's focus on your day tomorrow. We're going to be pretty dry through the morning and midday. Now, as you get into the heart of the afternoon, that's where I'm expecting to have the conditions in place to have some thunderstorms potentially start to fire up. But there's one thing in place in the afternoon on your Tuesday, and it's called the cap. You've probably heard us talk about the cap in the atmosphere before. Those can develop on different days with different conditions, and we are expecting to develop a cap tomorrow. So that means things are pretty quiet through the most of the midday afternoon time frame. About 4 o'clock here, this specific computer, which does a pretty good job with convection and showers and thunderstorms, this specific computer wants to start spitting out a random few sprinkles or light showers. This to me means, because we have all the ingredients in place, we've got low 80s, we've got the heat, we have a lot of moisture that comes back into the region, we have a lot of support in the upper levels of the atmosphere, some wind shear, and then eventually later in the day a cold front. So all of that should be able to combine together to make storms. But if we can't break through this cap, this little lid in the atmosphere, no strong, potent thunderstorms usually can get going. That'd be a great sign. But I do think that cap's going to break at some point, and we should see storms be able to punch through that. When that happens, well, that's still a little bit of a question mark. Right now, the newest data suggests it happens a little bit earlier than what we were thinking earlier today. And so that earlier could mean 6 p.m. to about 10 p.m., we should see that cap break somewhere in there. If it happens a little earlier while the sun is still up, obviously better fuel for those thunderstorms to get going. What I will say about breaking through the cap, 1 or 2 cells, not a whole line of storms, right? So the type of thunderstorms that we could get tomorrow afternoon are a little bit more isolated to scattered in nature, not widespread like Friday night's line of storms that came through. So I know there's a lot of green and stuff on radar right here, forecast radar, but I think it's those real bright pixelated areas, that you're seeing closer to Paola. I'm not saying it's going to happen in Paola, but just like that type of little output there that you're seeing in Miami County right there. That's what we'd be looking for some of the stronger cells. So definitely could have a few out there on radar, but due to them being a fairly small cluster or fairly small in nature, that could keep impacts confined. While they might be mighty impacts, they could be pretty confined to a select few counties, not the entire coverage area. So the coverage is pretty spotty if we can break through that cap at first. And then eventually we're seeing signs of it growing into more of a larger complex later in the evening. Still, though, kind of hit and miss. Where can that complex set up? Where can some of those heavier downpours set up? That's something that we'll be watching, because as soon as you get one of those heavier downpours over you, the kind of threat for some flash flooding is something that we're going to start watching for there. So by 9 p.m. here, still expecting to have some noisy thunderstorms on radar. But I think by about 11 p.m. midnight, the overall severe risk does start to throttle back, and then eventually will turn into more of just a spotty rain and generic rumbles, kind of some spotty downpours. Where this secondary batch ends up happening, if it tracks over the same area that got the thunderstorms, that's where we would have a little bit of an issue with the threat for some flash flooding. So let's go back to the afternoon potential, that Tuesday afternoon, early evening threat here. If that cap can hold, as I mentioned, and we can't break thunderstorms through, well, that means limited storm development. That means fewer or a lower severe chance, and that also means that we could have some showers, but probably not many thunderstorms. That's if that cap can hold strong. If it starts to erode and break, which we are expecting at this time, at some point, that the storms become strong quickly. They break through that cap. There's a higher chance for severe weather, and there's a lot of really rich fuel that these storms can thrive on. So 2 scenarios that we'll watch out for. If you go through the heart of the afternoon and early evening tomorrow, you have no storms, then I think that's a sign that cap is holding. So you can kind of play along throughout the day tomorrow and see what's going on. As far as the rain totals go, I think this is going to be sort of a feast or famine type of event. Where those heavier thunderstorms set up and keep tracking over the same area, that's where we're going to have to watch for that potential flash flooding. Localized, isolated pockets where you could get 1 to 3 inches of rain. Everyone else, a quarter to a half inch, maybe even less than that in some spots that don't see the thunderstorms tomorrow. So not everyone is sadly going to get rain out of this, but some select spots are going to have a surplus of rain by the end of the day on your Tuesday. Download the First Warn 5 weather app. This was a really nice resource to have this last weekend. It alerts you whenever you have watches or warnings issued for your area. It even alerts you when there's lightning strikes within your vicinity. That's one of my favorite features. We also all day are spending time consistently updating our forecasts, and every time we put it into our system, it pushes right out to the app. So what you're seeing in our app is our forecast. It is not some computer. That's the human forecast that we make every single day, hourly and also daily. And then you can track current and then also future radars as well, which is I think for a lot of people like to see where those storms are in relation to them. No storms today, 70s across the board, 72 in Kansas City. By the afternoon, again, 77 is your forecast high temp out there today. Beauty of a day. Please get outside and enjoy. Mr. Fogg and I are definitely going to go on a nice long walk. He does have to go to the vet today, but he will be walking probably after that. All right, 7-day forecast is really comfortable and warm and also real humid tomorrow, especially at 80. First warn is in place as that thunderstorm chance increases into the evening and early overnight. Look at that cold front, 80 to 53 on Wednesday. We're going to have a stiff wind out there on Wednesday as well, so definitely some wind chills as a factor. Not a nice day Wednesday, but the next 2 days will be nice, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be nice. So we just got one kind of crummy day there in the middle of the week. 62 on Friday, 61 on Saturday, and your Sunday down a little bit to 51. I might have another little weak front that comes through the region there. Overall, not bad for the middle part of March. We can get a lot of big swings around here. So this one, not too shabby. Lots to look forward to here over the next week. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me here this afternoon. I hope you enjoy your sunshine and time outside today. And we will have an update for you on tomorrow's thunderstorm potential. New data still coming in this afternoon. We'll have that for you coming up at 3:30 on KCTV5. And then again throughout the course of the evening. Have a great day, and I'm going to go get some sun myself. Take care.